I.S.U.P.K. 53rd Annual Lord Passover.
53rd Annual Lord's Passover is going to be held down here in Florida.
It's going down.
You're here tonight to get a chance to be righteous enough to be worthy of God coming to save you.
That's right.
It's going down. The Lord's 53rd Annual Passover.
When we say we no cowards, we stop that business. We no cowards up in here.
Book your hotels now at the Holiday Inn Express and Suites, the IHG Hotel, 301 Tucker Lane, Cocoa Beach, Florida, 32926.
Here's a lot of men down. You dealing with the men of war. We at war. I sided with the
Comes with all your dishes, pots, and sports knives.
I kind of like this. This is like an apartment and a hotel room. You know what I mean? Yeah. This here right here is about to be holy ground. It's going to be holy ground. All our beautiful, wonderful brothers and sisters from all over the world. You understand? We can boast that now. Brothers and sisters coming not only from every state, but from all over the world. I heard the numbers this year is ridiculous. We had to buy out the whole hotel.
Friday, April 15th at the Space Coast Convention Center.
My camp undefeated. You cannot debate. You just want the clout. We just want the grace. I'm just trying to get it.
This is going to be glorious.
What was in my blood? I'm a U.P.K. creation. We don't give a fuck. You can see it in our faces. Got it out the mud. Straight up out the base.
They say they wanna hear that raw shit. These niggas claiming that they bullshit. These niggas better move it cautious. As if they make the wrong move it cautious. You see me, they like, ooh, keep on stopping. I'm on my way up and they ain't gon' stop it. They say they wanna hear that raw shit. Coming up on by the bullshit. They see me, they like, ooh, keep on stopping. I'm on my body, real niggas right beside me. Damn right, I brought my army, going up like a rocket, and can't nobody stop me. These niggas garbage, so watch your mouth, boy. Coming all black, slithering house, call me mouth, boy. I'm off the hip like a cowboy. I'm a king, you should bow, boy. Show they like, damn, man, you cut up. Nothing I can handle. 144 in the booth, going Rambo. Niggas do you dirty like a stick in a bando. That's why I play the corner like a bum with a banjo. I'ma lead by example. Ooh, keep on sobbing, got this bitch off the hand, got this juice, got this drip, about to hit the bitch with the salt. It ain't rap, it's assault. Can't taste a bitch unless you with the coke. They say they wanna hear that raw shit. These niggas claiming that they bullshit. These niggas better move it cautious. As if they make the wrong move it cautious. One way, one way, one way, one way, one way.
I do it how a veteran be. You better than me. I'm Reggie at the edge of the key. It's all money, no honey. Think you settling?
Alright, shalom, shalom, shalom. You're on the end of myself, Officer Karafia. To my right, I'm Officer Dom Gabar. You know me, I always do every Friday, 9 p.m. to 11. And today we got a special guest. You know me, we got Solomon from Black Child Productions. Black Child Productions there. You know me, I let the brother introduce himself. So could Solomon introduce yourself? Let the people know what you do and where they can find you.
My name's Solomon. I'm from organization called Black Child Promotions. It's been in existence since 2003. So this is our 19th year of service in communities across London. The concept was initiated in Tottenham. That's North London's, around the Seven Sisters N15 side. And then we branched out to Brixton. We've been to Shepherd's Bush, all of Peckham, Brixton. We even one time went to Bullring in Birmingham. You know,
Come on, man. Man.
Yeah, man. So all we do is we try to disseminate information, particularly regarding representation, because there's a lack of representation, meaning that people that look like us in books, you know. So it doesn't have to even be something complex. A lot of brothers, when they walk past, like we're the only bookstore in the history of Oxford Street, one of the busiest streets in the world. We set up there, and we've been there since 2016. A lot of young people come, they got children, and they'll be like, bruv, I can't find any books. Every book that I try to get for my children has a European face on it, like Roald Dahl, Cat in a Hat, all of these things. So we provide literature that represents, you know, our community, you know, that you don't usually find in institutions. So we've been around since 2003, and, you know, this is our 19th year. We also, you know, have employed over 15 members at different stages throughout those years. You know, some people have moved on to do other things and stuff, you know, and we just try to, you know, raise the literacy levels of our people. And we're here to also receive and impart information. That means that, you know, there's a saying that says only a fool knows everything. So we're here to learn as well as, you know, disseminate knowledge and information also.
All right, that's deep, Solomon, man. So would you say the lack of black books and literature has an impact on our condition in the black community? So what I mean is...
I think it does, you know, because... All right.
Sorry, carry on. I feel the language...
I'll give you even some little simple, because I'm not a really complex person. I try to talk as simple as possible. But like, for example, you see, growing up in you know, North London, wherever inner city community you're from, we even find things like in school where, you know, even playground chat, and you might have a dark-skinned brother or sister, and they might be like, oh, you're so black, you're blick, or these type of things. So from an early age, there's a kind of, you know, negative association with the complexion. Remember, race is a social construct. If we go back years where we were in control of the planet, things weren't done in terms of race. This is a social construct, but this social construct that we're in now has made a lot of us have an inferior complex. We believe that we should look closer to Europeans. We should identify closer to, you know, these people, you know, as opposed to loving our own image and, you know, representing the beauty in our own soul. So we recognize, that there is, you know, these issues in our community that have been here for years before we were born, probably going to be here after we were gone. But it's what side of the fence are you on? What impact do you want to have on it? Not society, but your own community. You understand? I know what side I want to be on. I want to be, you know, my son here, he grows up and he doesn't see himself associated with just stereotypes or where they want to put us sports and entertainment. If you want to be a doctor, if you want to be a lawyer, if whatever you want to do, the sky is the limit for you because you're the original man on the planet. You understand what I'm saying? We are the original people, you know, people of color like that look like us, even if there's different variations. We were the original people, you know. And without getting too much passionate, I would love to big up the I.S.U.P.K, because I've seen footage. I've seen footage, of these brothers, 50. Because remember, they've come to the block before in Tottenham Seven Sisters, and when they pull up, they're pulling up 50 of them. Some of these brothers may have jobs. Some of these men might have different responsibilities. But when it's time to come out to preach on a Sabbath or whatever, they're 50 strong, they're disciplined, and it puts fear in the hearts of the enemy when they see 50 organized brothers in uniform marching and even spreading the word of God. You understand? So I respect anybody that does those type of things, brother. You know, because the thing is, they try to put us in a box, brother. Yeah, they try to say, you know what, everyone has to be society calls us drillers, trappers, and all of these type of things. We were the first architects. We were the ones that built societies, civilization way before you. You're talking to your fathers. You understand? So when they address our youth, why we're there pushing the literature is that a lot of people don't even know like a lot of the basic information. So we just want to, contribute to that. I'm not saying we're going to change the world, but if we change one mind that sparks that change, well, we've done our job.
No, sir, Christ, man. And just to say, like, what type of literature do you push so I can tell my viewers, you know what I mean, and give them the link?
Yeah, we push stuff like the children's books, like obviously you got your Grace and Family Handers Surprise and all of those ones, and Nancy books as well by Miss Louise Bennett, and also, other tales that may come from different parts of the continent or whatever. And we've also got books for the adults Like one of my Hebrew Israelite brothers, I remember one Saturday he was preaching. I promised him, because your word is bond. So I always told him I'm going to get him a book by Rudolph Windsor. You know Rudolph Windsor that did Babylon to Timbuktu? Yeah. From Babylon to Timbuktu. He also did a book called Valley of the Dry Bones also as well. And there's a few other titles. Yeah, so we do books like this. What we try to do is we cover all bases. You understand? Because there's many different tribes and many different, faiths or whatever. But we have to build, in the diaspora, we have to build strategic alliances, amongst our people. I was talking to an Uber driver the other day, and he said to me, you know what, India, Pakistan, and Bangladesh people don't really get on, He said, sometimes I'm at war with families back home, But you see, when we come over here and we set up one of those weave shops to get these black people's money, we will put our differences aside, to capitalize on the community. You understand? So we, as a network of people, from the Caribbean, whether you want to call yourself from the tribe of Benjamin, or same thing in Haiti, or in the diaspora, some brothers and sisters all over the world, people that look like us, that come from a similar experience to us. We must unify, and if we can't unify over, all together on ideology and all of these kind of things and dogmatic things or whatever, we must come together under, a question or a cause, like one cause. Like, for example, one of the main causes, right, he's going to sleep now, So one of the main causes, I think I'm boring him, But one of the main causes, is what was I gonna say? Police brutality, for example, I was speaking to a Somalian guy the other day, and it was funny to me. He's a younger guy, because we get to, when we're in the store, we get to speak like in real life, like to a lot of the youth. And he came up to me, and I noticed that when he was talking to his friend, he used the term Azzy, Azzy. So I said, listen, I've done my research, and I know when you're referring to Azzy, you're referring to black people. But I said, let me tell you this, my brother. He was shocked, because I was like, he didn't expect me to know what it meant. I said, listen, brother, you see, if the police come up right here, right now, and they demand a stop and search, or they try to brutalize us, you're as much of an Azzy, even if we might have our differences, you're as much of an Azzy as I am. To this oppressor, maybe not to us, but I'm saying to this oppressor, they're not going to say this one's this one's that, this one's this. So what we try to do is we try to, encourage that amongst the brothers in our community, that we put our differences aside for a greater enemy. Like, think about this. You see, one of the things that I love that the I.S.U.P.K and other groups expose, there's a thing called in Revelations 3 verse 9. It talks about, I know some of you, all these people that are going on professing that they're Jews and all of these, that's Jewish or whatever. In Revelations 3 verse 9, it says, I am aware of those who would call themselves such, but are not in fact, but are the synagogue of, without going into too much. What I'm saying is that these brothers, even if you're over this or doing that and exposing, because I've seen a lot of I.S.U.P.K brothers exposing these people who are taking our legacy. There might be a man that come from the Caribbean right now, and he's taught that he's less than. He doesn't know that, I'm the original Hebrew. That's you're giving him knowledge of self. You're empowering him, brother. Any teaching that can empower you, that can take you from a carnal state and a fleshly state and give you a form of order and self-pride is a good teaching, my brother. You understand? So we encourage any group that's doing that to uplift our youth. We support them.
That's what
come take them. They're sleeping,
I could ask. Sorry, I'll let you sort him out.
It's right. Go.
And then what's your goals for Black Child's promotions? Because I like the movement. I like to see website thing moving.
Do you know what our goal is? Is, as I said, we've been doing this 19 years. So what I'm looking at now is that I study in my own time as well. Even though it's Babylon education and thing, I still try to learn, because I'm a student myself. So like I just graduated from Anglo-Ruskin University with a master's. So one day I want to, the work that I've done on the road, I want to basically see if I can even do a PhD based on it, basically. And this isn't me getting gifted or, we're giving you a PhD. This is me actually going and studying these things. You You understand? And like, for example, I find that books and literature is a positive rehabilitation tool. And the cognitive process, it encourages positive cognitive processes. There's man them like, for example, when I'm in Brixton, they just come out of Thameside, they just come out of prison for 25 years. They say, bruv, I love what you're doing, bruv. They're like, I've been reading while I've been behind the wall. You understand? There might be a brother with mental health and they see something that looks like them because they've suffered this racism and they go through this every day. It's uplifting to see a group of black youth or whatever doing something different from the norm. We're standing out there with books. We're not standing out there with no weapons. We're not standing out there on no bad man. We're standing out there to show you that, you know, we are readers. We're the ones that created literature. So how would you think that we could only be footballers? Put whatever box you want to put us in. You learned from us. You learned everything from us. So we have to remind our community.
If I may, Solomon, like, this is why I like your movement, car. As a youth man growing up, when you open a book, you see Spider-Man, Superman, Wonder Man, Wonder Woman, all these things, and they're all white. So as a black man, you think, well, Spider-Man's great, it's great, Superman's great, but they ain't me. Where do I fit into this? Exactly. When I see you pushing your books, you can open a book and see a black face in there, man. I say, yo, the space, black book. You know, they say what? Pictures paint 1,000 words. And these things are deep, man. They gotta keep pushing. I'm definitely. And we see the people. A lot of people, man. Yeah, a lot of people say to me as well, "Oh, why don't you do online?" Because there's all of these online kind of things, and I love them as well because I know a lot of them personally. But I'm saying is that we were before social media doing this. This isn't for me to brag. This is just to give you context. You see, back in 2004, there was no Facebook, there was no Instagram. So some people think I'm stuck in my ways by taking my little 2 tables out before like wherever we go, take the 2 tables out. But what they fail to realize is that if I sell a book online, there may be like the last time I was in Brixton, there was a sister, I think from the Caribbean, and her son was a victim of violence. Yeah, her son was a victim of violence in the community, and all she needed was someone to release that, like basically, you know, someone to, what can I say, release that tension, basically, yeah? So being in the community in real time and being there, you have that personal contact with people. It's not just behind the computer. You're in the community, so you're able to affect change. You might see a youth that's been kicked out of school, for example. And then you say to the mother, yo, leave him here for half an hour. Leave that youth here for half an hour. Yeah, he can earn a little $5 or a $10. You understand? We'll take it out or whatever and give him a $5 or a $10, and he can stay with us and do work experience. Like when we go into the first time, I think in a long time, we went to Peckham the other day. I brought one of my godsons to Peckham with me. He's only, you know, he's still a little teenager, 14, 15, whatever. But we want to create, even if it's a little minuscule platform, it's a platform where, you know, we can bring forth the younger generation. They can learn about, because when you're out there propagating and selling books or whatever, you're doing sales, you're learning about business, you're learning about how to interact with people. You understand what I'm saying? So we also include a lot of young people, like from 12 years old, 13, 14. A lot of the members even have brought their children sometimes, and we bring out the children with us, and they have work experience as well, you know? So
Solomon,
yeah,
like, it's a great work that you're doing with the books and all of those things, because I agree with it. Why? Because in order for them to brainwash us, they done the same thing with books. They done whitewashing. So they whitewashed all the pictures. You had Michelangelo on them, who was sponsored by the Vatican, who were told paint over these images. That's how all these great men became white. And based off looking at images, as a black child looking at images, and you see all the images is white. You see the angels is white. Exactly. You see Jesus Christ is white. You see all the prophets is white. Exactly. And then you're looking for yourself, and then you don't see yourself there, and then you'll be looking like, well, I want to be white because everything great is white. Exactly. And then everybody else great is white. And then you're looking for something great which is black. And then the only thing you can find which is black is a thief, a criminal, a man in jail, a man with no education. So it's a good work what you're doing, because the same way they brainwashed us with whitewashing the images, We need to paint these images back black and show that we have black players, we have black superheroes, we have black prophets.
Exactly.
These things. And then being children, because children ain't gonna be able to read the paragraph and understand it. They understand pictures. So if they see there's pictures of black people in a great position, then they'll be like, you know what? This doctor here, which was a superhero, because sometimes you hear kids say things like, I want to be Spider-Man. They've never read the Spider-Man. They just know what it looks like by the pictures in the movies. So we need more of these things so our children can see this and be like, I want to be like this black man here.
Definitely. So listen, I've seen personally, let me tell you this, not to cut you, but I have to say this, You see, I'm not just saying this because I'm a man as well. I'm different because I'm a man who, a group of organized black people in formation. They're not there to dance. They're not there to entertain. Yeah. If some of them's reading scripture, if some of them's selling books or whatever, it changes the narrative, brother. It changes the narrative because a lot of people don't expect black people to have sense, Aya. They don't expect it because what they promote in the media and the avenues that they try to force us down, it's just all foolishness. It stems from the same slave and colonialist kind of mentality. So any brothers them that stand for, because with me, I'm always saying this, is that it's not always about just a charismatic personality or whatever. It's about, you see how the ants move and the ants build. Like if you look at nature, for example, when one soldier passes, they're not thinking about that one soldier, just that one soldier. They're thinking about the empire that they're building. If we fought as a people more like that, if we fought like, you know what, there's some brothers that may do this, there's some brothers that may do that. As long as you're doing whatever you're doing for the upliftment of our people, if we all play a certain position, we could get rid of this oppression in 24 hours or 48 hours. If we
sorry to cut you there. What you said right there is truth. Everyone played their part. It could work, and this is why in the I.S.U.P.K we follow the Bible where it says one body. Because why? One body means the hand does something different to the leg, but they're all one body. The leg knows what it's supposed to do. The head knows what it's supposed to do. The arms know what it's supposed to do. So that's why us in the I.S.U.P.K we're trying to bring every black and Hispanic back as a nation. We're trying to bring us all back, all 12 tribes of Israel. We're trying to bring everybody back into this one body so we can move in this formation that you're speaking of.
That's right.
But as long as we stay separate and try to do things individually, and one man's trying to have his lane there, and one man's trying to have his lane there, it's never going to work. So
and this is why I didn't hesitate. Even if it's a Sunday, even if I got my children, whatever, I'm no greater than you. We're the same. We're the same, brother. We have that respect. And you see, when I see that, brother, I was like, you know what? I have to. I'm even excited to talk to my brothers. Well, you understand what I'm saying? That's why. Look how I have my son, and my son is listening to the reasoning. He might not be old enough to comprehend everything, but that's history for him. That's putting certain information in his head that you might see that, planting the seed when it talks about in the scriptures, when you plant the seed. That's what we have to do. We have to plant the seeds in our children's minds from early. You understand what I'm saying? It's like even when you said about the community work and everything. You see, sometimes when we set up our tables, we set up our tables and we're in Oxford Street, one of the busiest streets. You might have people that don't like what you're doing or wherever you are. You understand what I'm saying? You might go to places that are hostile. But one thing, I don't say this publicly, but before I leave my house, I have to say my Psalms 23. I have to say it. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He maketh us lie down in green pastures, leads us beside the still waters, restores our soul, leadeth us in a path of righteousness for his name's sake. Yea, do we walk through the valley of the shadow of death, will fear no evil. For thou art with us, thy rod and thy staff, so and so. But listen, do you know the part that always gets me, what I realized the other day? I'm thinking, having this table in the busiest places, sometimes they're putting on the street lights in Oxford Street and nothing don't come near our table. I'm not saying we're immortal because I'm aware of my own mortality, but I'm saying is that I think to myself, Psalms 23 says, thou shalt prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. You understand what I'm saying? So that table of knowledge, sometimes I see as that table in my reference to in that Psalms 23. Imagine that I have a table sometimes in the middle of, like, if you look at places like Oxford Street, I think to protest the Windrush even, one time, if you go down our page, you'll see an image of us before this is back in 2018, when a lot of the Caribbean, what you would call people from Benjamin, were getting harassed, getting deported after they're the ones that built this country. They're the ones that built the NHS. Yeah, remember the winner. It's important to clarify this point. Yeah, that people from Caribbean heritage, they never came here as immigrants. The Windrush, they came up, they were begged. They said, please come and fight for your mother country. Please come. It was an invitation. People, all nations from the Caribbean, whose aunties or whose grandmothers were nurses, all of these, there would be no NHS if it wasn't for them.
That's right.
There would have been no London Underground if it wasn't for them. But yet still the children, of those who have sacrificed their lives for this country are still anyway, we know the deal. So we went outside Buckingham Palace, Resta, and we set up, out there. We eventually got moved, but we managed to set up, and we did it in protest to say that, like, how could you ever disrespect the children of the Windrush and the Windrush generation? Because there's other people, as we know, that come over from the EU and all of these type of things and all of these things. But remember, we were trying to build back our nation in the Caribbean at that time. Especially, I can talk for Jamaica because my parents were Jamaican, but after the oppression and the enslavement or whatever, black people were starting to have businesses. Black people were starting to, hone their skills and get themselves together. And during that process, in the midst of a European war, that's when they dragged back Caribbean people back into the war. And then afterwards, after the wars are finished, and after we build back up the industrial, settings, then it's no dogs and no blacks.
So Solomon, sorry to cut you. You see,
I can go on a bit. Oh, sorry. Yeah.
So see, things like that, they do this to us all the time. That's so when they're in need, what do? They call us. They call us to fight all their wars, and then after their wars, what happens? Go back home to your own country. Once England's in a good position, what happens? Are we going to deport? Once the coronavirus comes, the nurses can stay. Once the coronavirus is over, go back to your country. So we should learn from this. We should learn from this. What we should learn from this is that the white man is the devil, man.
That's right.
We should never trust him. That's what we should learn from this, because we've been trusting this man. So this is why when we go out on the street corners, we teach our people all of these things. We even got lectures on the Windrush. We've done lectures on white supremacy.
Come on.
We've shown over history how white people have abused us as black people. So we in the process of our people is in an abusive relationship with white people at the moment.
Come on, brother. Speak on it, brother.
They're in an abusive relationship with them, and we're basically trying to get our people. It's time to leave them, people, because they're abusive. They're beating you. And then when we tell them they need to leave, people call us racist when we out here saving their lives.
That's right.
We're trying to say, listen, us as black people, like you said, we built the underground. We built up this whole country. I believe England needed. After World War I or World War II, England needed over 1 million people to come to England to help build the country back. And they came to the Caribbean, and they was like, we need workers. Enoch Powell said, you know what? We need nurses. So where did he go? To the Caribbean, got nurses.
Exactly.
Less than a year or two later, Enoch Powell made his Rivers of Blood speech.
Rivers of Blood speech,
Exactly. Whereas he's the one that told us to come. The thing is this. If we didn't come to England, England would have been bland and how it was. Like, the thing is this, when our grandparents first came to England, because I've sat down with my granddad and asked him these questions. He said when he first came to England, white people wasn't washing their skin. They weren't having baths. There was just shitting on the corner and leaving.
I think it was a celebration once a year for some of the royal family as well, to have a bath once a year in celebration or something.
See? And then he said that we came here. He said that they thought England was this great country which was prosperous, which was the mother of all countries. And they said they came to England and it was a state. So they came here and they cleaned it up. Because of them fighting, saying, yo, we need a bath in our house, we need a bath in our house. Now England has a bath in every house. Whereas before that, before they came over here, white people wasn't washing their skin. This is why they was getting all these diseases and these plagues. Like, we've always been a clean people. So what happens is we come here and we teach them everything they know, everything the white man knows. We've taught them everything they know, man.
Yep, that's correct.
Everything we did when we came here, in terms of the cleaning, in terms of the cooking, in terms of everything, they then adopt it and then make out it's theirs. And then what did they do? The people that originally made it, they hide them away in the corner. And that's our people, man. Even World War I, World War One, what happened is, during the time of the Maroons, when the Maroons was fighting with the white men in England.
Yeah.
No, I mean in Jamaica.
In Jamaica, yeah.
Fighting with the Englishmen in Jamaica. They learned guerrilla warfare tactics from us. We taught them how to fight during the wars. Because what would happen is the white man would have a gun and he would just stand in one spot like this. That's documented. Yeah. And then he realized our guerrilla warfare.
This cracker has never won a guerrilla warfare. You know that they've never won on the ground. They always win with weapons of mass destruction, brother. That's how they win.
And another thing, so then they seen how we were shooting guns and rolling on the floor and moving out the way. Yeah. They then learned that from us. The only way they ever defeat us is what? We have traitors in our nation at times. That's how they defeat us.
It's more than at times. We have
and even with the Maroons, there was traitors in the Maroons as well.
Yeah.
So what does the white man do? He goes and says to them, it deals tactically with us. So especially, they know, you know what?
Especially the Paul Bogle situation as well.
Exactly. They deal tactically with us. They'll be like, you know what? These Maroons is taking everything over. So what did he do? He made a contract with the Maroons, like, okay, then we'll give you these 5 cities, but if any more of these slaves run to you, you have to turn them back over to us.
That was part of the treaty.
Whereas the Maroons should have said, we ain't turning nothing back over. These is our brothers.
But in saying that, in saying that as well, is that we have to also be cognizant of the fact that it's generational. Sometimes I'm not giving them a pass, but I'm saying when Nani and Kodja was there, maybe Nani and Kodja would have said, no, we're not with that. Like the original revolutionary Maroons wouldn't have been with that. But as people get more comfortable, there's a book here that talks about the dynamics of power. Like sometimes people that have a revolutionary mind, when like the British did a treaty with them or whatever, or left them alone for a certain period of time, some of these leaders, especially in certain leadership positions or whatever, start getting cozy back with the oppressor. You understand what I'm trying to say? So,
and sorry to cut you again. See, that's
go, brother.
That's a tactic right there. Because why? They tried to do the same they tried to do the same thing to the Maccabees. To try to say to them, yo, you come and worship us. Because what did they do? They find the most revolutionary brothers and be like, you know what? This man can move mountains if we leave him. So we need to get him on our side. So what do? They offer you money. They offer you comfort because they know you're dangerous to them. They know you're dangerous to their empire. So what did they do? Our most strong black men are supposed to be strong. So what did they do now? Make us become homosexuals, man. That's what they do. They make our men become homosexuals because why? They know that these black men are strong and supposed to be leaders. So they know if we can turn them gay, what happens? They're going to stop producing. They're not going to fight against us. Why? Because we're going to give them the rights that is right for them. So then what happens? They divide us like that. Go ahead.
You know what as well? I love this talk, brother, because listen, you see part of it is
I love it too.
you know what it is, yeah? No, I'm so happy I joined as well because I have to say this as well to bounce off of what you said as well. A part of it is, you know what? A lot of us, I see it in London a lot. I can't talk for anywhere else because I'm in London a lot. But a lot of the so-called black people, they like to integrate and be like them because it doesn't just stop at self-hatred. It stops of we want acceptance from you. So they're in the trendy bars, like eating sun-dried tomatoes and wild asparagus and poached eggs with them and all of these type of things and all this. And they're so integrated within their social construct and want to socialize with them is that a lot of us pick up their bad habits. Remember, Psalms 1, the first Psalm, it says, blessed is the man and woman that walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly, nor standeth in the path of sinners, nor sitteth in the seat of the scornful, but the delight is in the law of the Lord. So we are not supposed to intermingle, because look, intermingling with them is dwelling in the counsel of the ungodly. As you said, these are the same people who didn't bathe. These are the same people, like, for example, what a lot of these people will do as well is a new one that's always happened is a woman, a Caucasian woman will hate a black woman, for example, now, and their way of getting to the black woman is their form of racism will be this. It will be like, let me get a black child, let me go and say, so I can say, look, I'm not racist, I got a black son.
Yeah, that's right. We're only seeing racism isn't just, oh, you're black, this and that. It's very strategic, brother. It's very strategic.
And a lot of these people in our community now, let me tell you, listen, because I want this to go across the like what I'm saying here. I don't mind saying it. Like, I'll give you a real life example, yeah? I know this uncle of mine, yeah? He ain't an uncle, blood uncle, but I grew up with him, North London. You understand what I'm trying to say? North London, like, he was one of the originals. He's moved to an area, I'm not going to say what the area is now, and this white boy is on his ped, like on his ped and thing, knock over the Rasta man, you know, knock him over. So the Rasta man draw them back and say, listen, you have manners, not even bad him up too much, just manners him and say, yo, the white you start running up his mouth to the elder, you know. And then the elder just give him one aces across his face, you know. It could have been worse, you know. But he just gave him one aces. Can you imagine this youth? This is the time we're living in. This youth has gone, this white youth has gone and got 20 black youths to go and rush the uncle, you know, brother. That's the time.
I'm gonna tell you why this happened. You know why? Because the Christian church teaches that color doesn't matter. Whereas if we understood color mattered, we would understand, yo, well, I've got more in common with this man than I do with you. So that's what we need to realize, that the people that we came on the slave ship with, man, this is our family. Because the white man didn't say, you know what, there's some good black people, we're not going to enslave these good black people. Those good people that was going to pick cotton too. There's good black men picking cotton and so-called bad black men picking cotton.
Come on, brother, speak on it.
What we need to do is not have a soft spot for them. So
exactly.
And this is why I always say to brothers, listen, man, stop getting with these white women. I don't care how nice they appear. Get with your own sisters, man. Get with your own sisters. Why? Because the Lord made that woman the same as you, so you can be with her. You and her have that same upbringing. You and her know each other's culture. You and her have struggled eating corned beef and white rice together, man. Whereas these white women don't know about this. Why don't you take a black... Listen, when black men make money and become celebrities, the first thing they do is go get a white woman like she's a trophy. Whereas
come on, brother, speak.
Whereas the thing is this, I always say to them, this is what you do. That black woman that's struggling in the ghetto, why don't you bring her up, man? Why don't you bring her up? Let her know what it's like to eat steak. Let her know what it's like to eat.
Please, we have to say this as well, brother. Don't forget this. Don't when it messes up. No, when it messes up and she accuses you of this, and then your mess up.
Exactly.
Brother. Don't do it, brother. You understand what I'm saying? You never opened up no community centers in the community and thing and go meet one of them women there. And then when she's got you in the papers looking messed up and all this thing, you know, the R charge and this charge and that charge. Don't run back to the black community, brother.
Exactly. You understand? And all that, man. Remember Michael Jackson was white, and then when the rape charges coming, who supported him? Black people did. Remember, he didn't want to look like us, but now when times are hard, he got the black vote though, man. But I don't get too off topic. I'm gonna get so do the video of the police approaching the store. So I wanted to get into that a bit. So when they approached the store, what was the claim?
Do you know what, brother? I have to put it into context, yeah? You see, when we arrived in Brixton, we'd already been in Tottenham for 30, well, me personally, because when I say we, I'm talking about different members of the team at different points, because there's been different members. But I'm saying I was in Tottenham for 13 years, before I reached to Brixton. So this persecution that we were facing started in Tottenham. I've even had the video. One day I could even probably send it to you. But what happened is that, to put context to it, since 2004, they didn't like us on the corner. They saw us because when I was out there, a lot of large congregations used to gather. Like the community used to come out. Back then, it wasn't just books; it was DVDs. Yeah, this is before the Chinese man. All of that. We're out there with educational DVDs and stuff like that. Yeah, and how my store operated, big up to Brooklyn as well. Brooklyn and Kedar, them man, they were, and also rising power brother Dougie. So I'm just a continuation. Even though this is my 19th year, Nuba's been out, or Brooklyn, they call him, has been out there for 30 years. Kedar's been out there for 30 years. Dougie was out there from the 80s, rest in peace. So rising power. So I'm just a continuation of that. But what I did is I chose to leave and go other places, innit? So basically, when we were out there, every month you could expect a raid. I'm starting at Tottenham now. You could expect a raid. So they'll leave you for a long time, leave you for a long time. And then what they intended to do was send somebody who's pretending to buy like a DVD or a book, and then they'll flip out their ID card, say we're from the council. Da, da, da. So I've had to pay fines. They've also brutalized one of my brethrens, Banzai, a banner, big up a banner, real soldier as well. He I think this is back in 08 or something like this, 09. Like the police, the black man come pretending to buy something, and then he flipped out his council card and he was there with the police. And then my brother Banzai must have said, brother, you're moving like a coconut right now. So, you know, he took that as offensive and put the cuffs on him. So the community, the one thing about, I'll say, Seven Sisters Tottenham is that, because that's where we're originally from, the community wouldn't allow that to happen. I would be safe to say it would be a madness if what happened in Brixton happened at that time in 2008. Them time because even though they cuffed him, Banzai had to tell the people, yo, just leave. Like I don't want no problems or nothing like that, and told the community back down. So at that time, the police were always antagonizing us. So what happened is, in 2014, I said to myself, you know what? I'm DVDs are phasing out. I'm doing DVDs, books, and everything. So my uncle, who has a center in 366A Tottenham High Road, yeah, it's a center that's open to our family, black family, and things. So if you're ever in Tottenham, I can send you the details via message and thing, and you can call and bring some of the brothers and go. Because we got a lot of Rudolph wins, a lot of Hebrewisms of West Africa. We got a lot of that. So even to come there, even try and have a space where we can hold our events and stuff like that. So I linked up with my uncle, but my uncle's like, he's a real soldier, he's a real warrior. So he's like, you know what, Solomon, yeah? These people just said to you, because the last time they approached me, I don't want to leave that out. They said, if you join up with a charity and stop selling bootleg DVDs and all of these type of things with the books and just come out here with a legitimate project, we don't mind. So I said, all right, then cool. You don't know that. What do you think? I'm some kind of Albanian street store man. All right, cool. Called up Uncle P. I said, Uncle P, I showed him, this is way back. I told him, I said, Uncle P, we're gonna do some business now. Cause I'm not. And when I say business, I'm talking about in like to stop the police harassing me. So I said, all right, Uncle P, here what? I'm gonna just work primarily on the books. Yeah. So when he allowed me to do that now, there's also a foundation that's attached to the center also, yeah. And they call it the Marcus Garvey Foundation. That these things. So when he inducted me into that now, it gave me protection from the police, basically, to say we're a legitimate charity. A majority of some of the funds that we raise on the street goes back into the center, because the center does. If you know any brothers out there that are builders, whatever, it's a space for us as a people, and we need a lot of refurbishments and all that. So some of what we make on the road goes back into the refurbishments. You know, making sure that the leaks don't come down into the books and all of those type of things and all this. Because, you know, obviously there's many organizations that could support you that don't want to support you when you take a kind of, you know, stance that we take. So, yeah. So I said to Uncle P, yeah, give me that charity status. Gave me the charity status. So I started going other places. I started to go to Stratford. I started to go to Shepherd's Bush. I started to go everywhere because we had charity status. So what happened in Brixton is prior to that incident in Brixton, that same councilman that approached us, he was trying to bully the whole strip even before we got there. Yeah, there was people that were there prior to us because we're guests in Brixton. We're family now, but I'm saying they embraced us in Brixton because we're originally from North London. So when we got there now, they were like, "Rah, this is refreshing. You're bringing back how Brixton used to be because you're here with the literature. A lot of support. The support was phenomenal." So at that point, they said the councilman took me to the side. He said, "Listen, we've got you on camera, and you're exchanging large quantities of money and all of these type of things and rare, tear. And the only way you could do this is if you bring your charity papers." So I said, "All right, then fine." So they came a few other times prior to that, and we showed them the charity paper. And then they were fine. They said, all right, then there's nothing we can do. Like, you're doing a good job for the community. There's people here that love you and everything. Like, a lot of it's creating something positive in the community. We'll leave you alone. But here, what now? You see, that day there was a police investigation of what was happening. So that same council guy who was always giving people problems, he was with a bag of police this day. So he decided to say, "Yo, you lot pack up." So I was like, "What?"
I was like, but brother, we just spoke to you a few days ago, and you're saying it's all good. So because you're with a bag of police now, you believe that you're gonna like. You understand what I'm saying? You believe. Remember, this man has forked tongue, you know. They say this man has forked tongue, you know. You know what I mean by forked tongue. So they'll say one thing. So because he was with a bag of police, yeah, he thought that day. He said, "Listen, like he's trying to show his strength. Like pack up, pack up." I was like, "All right, then cool. If you want to play it like this, yeah, is that." I've been arrested before. Being like, it's all right, innit? Because what are you gonna do? Put it this way: there's brothers there, yeah, that's on the roads doing whatever they're doing on the roads. They get a good 6 years in prison, and they come back and do exactly the same thing. So what are you gonna do? Arrest me for books? Take me then, innit? Because how long you gonna hold me? I'm saying, how long are you gonna hold me for literature? There's no contraband in the literature. We're not out here shotting or whatever. So what are you going to really do? Because the thing is, I knew it's going to make you look bad because we're not doing anything wrong. So I said, I was basically communicating him the fact that we're not moving, innit? Yeah? A little disturbance happened. I ended up getting a little pepper sprayed or whatever like this. But one thing I'll say about the community is that Brixton community, which I'll always be thankful for, is that when the police took me, the community came and protested outside of the police station. So people from different organizations were out there protesting. Like the police, there's pictures. Even if you want to type in Black Child Promotions or the incident, you'll see there's a lot of people, like the police were under pressure because they're like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we know these brothers, like you were wrong, all of this type of thing. So the police were actually under pressure. And then also I must say this, is that the community kept our books safe. So books that they will purchase every day for from us, they kept them all safe. And when I was released without charge because I got no further action. So because of the pressure that they put on the police, they had to release me with no further action. So I didn't even get charged. I never got charged.
If I can say something, like after hearing that was beautiful, man. It's beautiful that black people can,
No, but I see. Listen, I could never say
how Indian man and Bangladeshi man have their beef, but in England they put their beef aside to make money off us. When it comes to making money off us, they put their difference aside. And it was nice that brothers, no matter what religion they came from, protected your books.
Yeah, they did. They protected the books. When we got our books back, and the brothers brought back our books in the community, but there wasn't one book missing. There wasn't one missing. And then when we were out there, they even bought the books next time. Like, that's, for me personally, you see, even little things that happen in life, no matter how bad life is, I'll always remain an optimist. You know why? Because I've seen it. I've seen the community cohesion. I've seen it. I've seen them rally outside of the police station and not leave until I was released, and there was another person that was with me, another member that was with me. Like, they supported us. You understand? And you can't remember, these are 9 to 5 workers, so I don't expect them to even defend us. They're under no obligation to offend us. To defend us. They're not under obligation. So for them to actually do that and rally around, protest outside the station, deliver all the books back from us, and give us that community support, it's just amazing.
Sorry, Salim, you said something. You said that the white man speaks with a forked tongue, and you're right. You know why? This man, there's something you don't understand about him. This man don't even follow his own rules, man.
Yeah,
listen, in America, this man broke all of his treaties with the Native American Indians, man. Broke every last treaty. This man told you that you need a charity status to not get locked up. So that way, if you got a charity status, you ain't breaking the law and locked you up for it anyway. Exactly. The Bible calls him the devil. A devil means deceiver, man.
Yeah,
deceiver. Listen, you leave you alone. If you get the status, you got the status. It didn't matter, man. You know,
let me even tell you this. I'll expose this, because this is a real station. I'm gonna expose this as well, brother. This is I want to speak I don't want to bear false witness. I just want to speak the truth, brother. And this, you see, last time I was in Brixton, not last time, but because we're not there as much as we were before, but when I was really there, like early last year, members of the council came back to us now, because there's even, you know, other people that have brought, what can I say? They've bear witness the impact of that, because after that, you know, politicians, people come out and said, oh, the man that's selling books. So the police were kind of under strict instruction to leave that area alone, and that still operates to this day. So there's, even if we're not there with our books, there's other people now that are able to operate, because they're known that that's a no-go spot now. Because if you do that again now, remember, Brixton is a place where something can jump off just like that. So if they've done it once and they do that again to somebody else or whatever, it's going to be a major problem. So that's the good to come out of it, that the police no longer, the council no longer try to bully that block there, even if we're not there. But last time I was really active there, I remember two councilmen come up to me, and this time it was a black man and a white man come up to me, and they said, listen, brother, yeah, we know your history. This is like the incident happened 2016. This is like in 2020, 221, around this anyway area. And he said, he goes, listen, we know what you're doing, and we see you as an essential worker, because you remember when it was lockdown and they opened retail, but everything else was shut down. Remember when they shut down retail? So we were still outside when they shut down retail. We were the retail. So he came up to us and said, this is an essential job that you're doing here. What we would like to do is get rid of the other stall holders. So the man them selling incense, or the man them selling shungite or whatever. And then I said to him, what, and make me a permanent? And he said, yeah, make you permanent out here. So I said to him, listen, we're guests in this area. Yeah. We have no right, yeah, to come here and be the only legitimate after other people. Remember, we're just a continuation or a part of what other people are doing. We're a part of the community. We don't put ourselves above. So I said to him, I'd rather leave rather than sell out the whole block, and then other people can't do what they're doing. Because I can always go to another location. Maybe they can't. And then what happened is that my brother Francois, who was on the corner before on the Brixton front line, big up Francois, he was selling incense at the time. And another sister that's down there that's selling shungite. So when you're down there or whatever, check them out, the local people or whatever in Brixton, right outside the Iceland, there's always going to be someone there. We do
every other Saturday. So
yeah. So the other brother that was there, whatever, and the sister that's doing a shungite thing, she overheard what happened and said, yo, Solomon, I respect that still, you know, because how are they going to come to me and try to tell me that you can be the only one here, basically, you know? I thought I sounded that I found that an insult, you know, brother.
And you know what, brother, you did the right thing. You know how much brother would have sold out and be like, well, I'm sorted. You know what I mean? That was the right thing, man. To the right.
Man, I'd rather not do it. I'd rather not do it for that than that. That defeats the whole purpose of why we're out there. Because yeah, we're there to raise money and we're there to feed our families and stuff. But at the same time, we're there to have that proper interaction with the public. Because as I said, there's people, especially where we are in Brixton, Peckham, whatever. There's people with their own stories. There's people that have been through trauma. So sometimes even just being that listening ear out there, you know, someone you see a brother, he might have had a long day at work, you know, experienced racism, and he just wants to vent. So instead of him negatively venting, he can just come to us and we just talk it out, bro. And then he's left with a positive mind frame because he's got off what's on his chest and he feels revitalized. So sometimes it's as much as the reasoning as it is about the books as well. Some people don't just come for books; they come to, you know. And I'm not talking about reasoning in terms of arguments, but reasoning like what we're doing now. We're building. That's what I call it. We're building, we're exchanging ideas, we're exchanging information. So that is very much needed. If it's all online and all, you're like a social media personality where people can't reach you, there's nothing tangible about it. There's nothing authentic because people can't reach you. If someone calls me now when I finish my conversation with you and someone's able to look after my youths and someone says, yo, I need some children's books and it's 8 o'clock at night, then I'm going to deliver that, bro. Because that's part of the service. You know what I'm saying?
No, you know. So let me ask you a question. So when this whole thing went down with the police, what was the reason for getting physical? Because you wasn't aggressive. I want to know what their excuse was. Because I watched that video properly myself, and I've seen it. For what I get from that, the policeman looked like pride was kicking in.
Yeah.
Like when the police come out, you know, they leaving.
Making an assumption. Yeah. The assumption you said is we're selling. We're not selling. We're just displaying. And if you look, we've also got this as well. Yeah. We have our charity box. Yeah. And we're not saying we could ask any other community. We haven't sold one book. If someone wants to leave a donation, that's up to them. And Article 10 of the Human Rights Legislation says that we are right to Yeah, but what I'm trying to say is we're going by the law. The law states that we are allowed to receive and impart information without any interference from any public authority. No, we're within our rights to be here.
In that case, I'm going to pack up for you.
No, you're not going to pack up for us.
So let me give you that. And I'll get started.
We showed you, listen, we showed the charity papers to say that we're not selling anything. Yeah, we're not selling anything.
You hear that now? You hear that now? That's the war talk. At the war talk that. Back up in it. Back up in it. At the war argument that.
We're receiving.
At the war argument. Back up. Back up them I talk about.
I told you, this is my charity papers.
Do you have any idea?
This is my charity papers. This is my charity papers. My ID is my charity papers. Let me ask you a question. The socialist newspaper that's here. Yeah. Why do you allow them to do what they do? No, you never explained.
There's a specific exemption.
They receive
newspapers under the London Local Authority.
Yeah, and this is education. This is education.
It's not newspapers.
Huh?
It's not newspapers.
We've been in newspapers.
Newspapers are periodicals.
Do you know that? You know that? We've been in newspapers.
Brilliant.
We're allowed to do this.
I'm really happy for you. But this is books, and you're not allowed to do it.
We're not selling, no. We're just displaying.
Okay.
We're displaying.
Making profit from the books.
No, we're not, because we're displaying.
It's only a display.
No. Has anybody bought a book?
No.
Has anybody bought a book?
No, it's a display. No.
Can I ask you a question? Has anybody donated today?
Has anybody donated today?
No.
Huh?
Yeah. Somebody said yes.
It's empty today.
Okay, but
can I put something in the donation box now? Can I put something in the donation box now? Yeah.
Does anyone want to donate? Who wants to donate? You see, Lolo? We're donating.
How about giving away these books for free now? People take them.
What?
People taking away the books now?
What do you mean, people?
They're for display. You pick them up, you open them, you put them back. It's for display. It's for display.
Have we been giving away books?
Yes, we have.
Have we sold any books?
No.
All we're doing is displaying books, is that right?
Yes.
Yeah, the community says you have to yeah, but that's the community.
I've spoken to you before.
No.
Now, I'd love to see your identification.
I've told you that this is my name is
I believe that there is nothing to be committed.
You can't put no food on your table. You can't feed your family. Anything we do, they want to turn it into some criminal thing. Anything we do. Fuck with some people.
Receiving and imparting information regardless to public authority. If the socialist newspaper can be out here, then we can be out here.
You have to do your job by the law.
No. You made the assumption. One more time, have we sold anybody?
No.
So I'm going to have to take these books today because you won't.
No one's selling books. No one's selling books. No one's selling. People pick them up, look on them and put them down.
All I need to do is see your identification.
No. Well, we'll be our right to defend ourselves. If you try to seize our books illegally, after the community said, one more time, as we sold it.
No!
So those books have been sold.
So what are you talking about?
As I said before, we're a charity. These are our charity papers.
For some reason, he doesn't want to look at it.
We're not selling books, we're receiving and imparting information according to Article 10 of the Human Rights Legislation. We've tried to explain to him, have we sold anybody?
No.
No, you can't tell me what to do. I'm saying we're not selling books.
Oh, yeah, they don't like voices. They don't like no time. Yeah, because you're supposed to. Here they go. You come and push people. Where you go? Where you go? That's what you like. 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 That's what your blood clot like. That's what you like. Why did you guys? Why you guys? them out, Naki. You see, that's what them like. You like fucking war. You like violence. Your blood clot like.
But do you know what? Do you know what it is, brother? Is what it is that you see the elders that I'm around. Big up Minka Dofu. Big up brother Binny. Big up Pepper Kai. Rising Power brother Huey. He just passed. But the elders that I'm around, yeah, they're very critical, you know. So if Uncle P would have saw me act in a way that if the police come up to me, yeah, and instead of me articulating myself in a certain manner, I would have said, "Oh, suck you," and acted like in that type of obstreperous or aggressive manner. Then he would have been like, "You're an idiot. You don't even deserve to do this work." So I was very mindful of the way I was behaving and the way I was acting, because I just kept on saying, you know what, according to the Article 10 and Article 11 of the human rights legislation, it says that we're here to receive and impart information regardless of borders and frontiers. It means without any disturbance from any public authority. So when you're chatting law like that, it's just like when the brothers from your organization, the I.S.U.P.K, and you're talking, when you're there with people and you're talking a word, the word's just flowing. The word of God through the scriptures or whatever just flowing, and they can't take it because it's like a dagger. It's like a dagger to their heart. So that's what it was with him. He was like, I'm not being aggressive. I kept on repeating. And then what I did afterwards is I did a call and response, because I said, is anybody out here selling books? The community know that we sell books out there. And if you want to get technical, it isn't primarily just for profit, because we give back to the center in real life. We give back to the center. So what I'm saying is that, but to you, Babylon, yeah, just like you got fork tongue to us, I'm going to tell you we're not selling books like that, because we're not making to sell means that you're making a profit unanimously. We're not doing that because we're selling. It's called primary purpose trading, which you trade on behalf of a charity. So no, we're not selling books. You understand what I'm trying to say? And then what did the community do? If you notice in that video, sorry, cut this off. Sorry about that, brother. Yeah. If you notice the community were like, no, he isn't selling books. You understand what I'm saying? So that killed them even more, because they're like, we've got call and response. It's getting like, there's a lot of people out there, even if they're not physically going to intervene, they're there, they're seeing what happened. So it just frustrated them, because I didn't really strike no purposely. I might wanted to fight, but I didn't fight nobody. I didn't fight because I know the narrative, that they're going to control the narrative. They're going to be like, if I struck them or behaved like F off or started using derogatory terminologies towards them, they would have been like, that defeats the whole purpose of what they're doing, because I'm out there to show you that our intellect is stronger than yours. We're better than you people. Even if you oppress us, hang us, do all the things you want to do to us, we're still better. And it kills you. It irritates the demons that are inside of you. So I'm not going to deal with you in a manner that you think I'm going to be some ignorant fool. I'm going to deal with you by law. And it got to them. So they really demonstrated that they're the real thugs. Because remember, if I did that to them, there's Channel 4 clip that went up to about 6.5 million or whatever people saw it. But the man them cut off the clip when the man them's hitting my arm. There's a longer clip, but I'm saying the Channel 4 one, they logged it. They cut it. I never asked them to do that, but they got it, the footage, and then they cut it right by where the man's licking me in my arm. Now imagine me doing that to a police officer. What do you think the consequences would have been for me?
Dog, criminal, out of control, all that stuff, man. I just use calm, collective.
Exactly, bro. And that's only because I was aware of the fact that I knew that I didn't want to be an embarrassment to the people that are backing me. Basically, we have to know how to conduct ourselves. Yeah,
them police, the sick, like the white man. You use a tactic. You know what I mean? There's no way for him to arrest you. So, from what I saw, I think one of them must have pushed you. Yeah. He must have boom. It was like yo, don't push me from there, bang. Do you want to tell you? Yeah.
Well, that was someone else. That was if you watch it again. But I'm saying, there was two of us in a situation, but the police kind of, when it basically, the only thing I did that I remember really clearly, because remember they sprayed me in my eye, but they tried to get me to the floor. But I was in a position I was in a position where my knee was on the ground for a minute or for a second. So I was like, I can't let these, because in my head I'm thinking, nah, man, we're not bow to Babylon, you know. So I had to just rise up in it. That's all.
I see you right.
I say, if you're gonna take me, you're gonna take me standing up, because I'm not on my knees. You understand? I'm not in that no submissive position. Take me standing up. You understand? That's what I remember. But yeah, they physically, yeah.
If I could, like, and this is why technology is such a beautiful thing, because now there's cameras and all these things. Just imagine if there was no camera footage. Imagine what the police would have done to you if there was no cameras. Just imagine what they've done to our ancestors who have been innocent, but there's no camera footage for them to prove they was innocent. So imagine all these things from hundreds of years ago when they're saying, well, this black person done this to the police, done this to the police. There's no video proof to say if they did or didn't, whereas they probably didn't. So now, this is why it's very important. Like, you see, whenever you're doing all your stuff, keep the camera rolling. Man. Keep the camera rolling.
I tell you what, you see, even without going back hundreds of years, look at Smiley Culture, Rising Power, Smiley Culture. Yo, these people said,
Sherry Grove as well.
Rest in peace, Mark Duggan. Rest in peace, Cynthia Jarrett. There's many, many, too many to name. Yeah. These people said that if you look at Smiley Culture, for example, they said that he was in custody. They allowed him to make a cup of tea, and then he went and stabbed himself in the chest. Now, brother, which black man you know is gonna physically stab himself in the chest, brother?
Exactly.
And why did they allow him to make a cup of tea if you're in custody? I'm not saying that you lot have been, but I'm saying we've all been in a little custody before. You're not going out. You're not going to be allowed to go and wander off and make yourself. They blatantly murdered him and got away with it. Like, there was big up Jeff Mohammed as well. There's a brother from the nation that came and aided me. He was a solicitor, and he got me in contact with a lawyer called Terrence or whatever. And he said he made a complaint against the police on my behalf. So even though there's footage that you've seen of them striking me, they said that the police came back. The police report came back like they didn't do anything wrong.
See, so now imagine 50 years ago, that police report was gospel. That was it.
Yeah,
your word didn't mean nothing. Exactly, what witnesses said didn't mean nothing. That police report meant everything. So all them brothers back then in the 60s that were stopped and frisked and harassed by the police and beaten up, thrown in jail in the back of paddy wagons. They didn't have cameras, man. It's a shame that these brothers dealt with like this, man. Sorry, man.
Even though things is caught on camera, the police is still lying and getting away with it, even though it's on camera. So damn, imagine what was getting away with, which wasn't caught on camera. So we see all these things, like imagine like all the things that we see on camera, like black people being stopped by the police, black people being harassed by the police. The thing is, you're from London, we from Birmingham. Imagine without cameras and TV, I wouldn't know what's happening to you in London. You wouldn't know what's happening to Birmingham. So imagine, just imagine we all living our life in our own bubble, and then we're just thinking, okay, we only see what we see, and then now because of camera and TV, I can see your pain and you can see my pain. That's right. And then we realize the white man is the devil in London, in Birmingham, in Jamaica, wherever it is. We see police brutality. Even black people in Ukraine is being harassed.
Yeah, come on, brother. Come on.
So it shows that these white people have never met each other, but they all have something in common, that they're the devil. They have something in common. And we have something in common.
Let's just make this very clear.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I don't even want to go too deep into this, but I'm saying I love talking to brothers of the scriptures as well, brother. I respect it still, because it says sometimes this word will turn mother against father. Child against. But let me tell you a real practical situation of that. Yeah, we may have family members, especially within the Caribbean. I assume you lot are Caribbean as well, yeah. But,
that's right.
But I'm saying within a Caribbean, your own family makeup, and you start talking how we're talking, and I know some brethrens of mine that I'll call brethrens or relatives. And I'm like, you know what? It's better not to. Silence is the best way, you know. I see them put up on their profile picture, pray for Ukraine and all of these type of things and all of these type of things. I'm thinking, brother, this is the condition of our people. Yeah, is so messed up that we will be praying for people who want to kill us. We will be praying for those. But listen, you're not praying for the. If another black man steps on your shoe or looks at you wrong, you're not praying for him. You want to deal with him. But we have to go all the way to pray for a European war. That's nothing to do with us, brother. Yeah. And you listen. There's been organizations. I'm not even gonna say what nations, but I'm saying this within certain black nations. There's been people that are been raising funds for these crackers. Yeah. Trying to go to war to sign up, asking them going to the embassy.
One brother that tried to go out there and fight for Ukraine, but they sent him back. Said he was gonna be, what's the word?
I'm saying, no, but listen, make another this brother who's doing that wants to fight for Ukraine, yeah. He'll probably see you, brother, or see you on the road with looking militant or whatever, and you say, "Yes, brother, how are you doing today?" And you screw face you. These people, a lot of these people, yeah, that want to fight for these other causes, they have no self-love, you know.
That's right.
They have no self-love within themselves. Make a brother look on him wrong or step on his foot. He's willing to kill another black man. But if it's Ukraine, we want to go and fly out, risk our life.
And you know what? If I could, that right there is so crazy to me, because the black man you see every day in the ghetto, you physically see him, and you don't want to forgive him or pray for him, but you want to go pray for Ukrainians that you've never seen.
On, bro.
You don't even know what language they speak. You don't know what food they eat. You don't know their culture. But the same black man that looks like you and you see him every single day, you don't want to pray for him. And we should see these things, and this should make us realize how racist England is, because now everyone's going to fight for Ukraine. The whole world is saying, we're against Russia doing this to Ukraine. Meanwhile, when the British was oppressing and beating and killing us, none of these nations came together and said, let's help these black people because the British are dealing with them away.
No sanctions.
Exactly. No one sanctioned Britain for killing Mark Duggan. No one sanctioned Britain for killing Rashawn Charles.
Come on.
I never seen pray for Rashawn Charles' family. I didn't see here's some donations to Mark Duggan's family. But what I did see is Mark Duggan was a criminal. Mark Duggan was this. They find ways to justify killing us. They find all these ways to justify killing us. And then when it comes to Ukrainians, I even seen an article that was saying, if you got a spare room, a house, a family of Ukrainians, what about homeless black people, man?
That's right.
What about black people who you've got living in flats which is full of mold and all of these things? We see these things. There's black people, their houses is full of mold and they're getting sick from all of these things. And they got all their kids in the house. And Britain ain't never said, well, we're going to house these black people.
That's
right. Never said we're going to fix their problem. What the British do say is, you know what? Deportation, man. Get out of our country. That's what they do say. And I've not heard nobody say, pray for the Windrush generation.
That's right.
They like suffer in silence. Suffer.
Exactly.
Suffer. Exactly. And you know what they'll do as well? They'll bring out they'll bring out someone like David Lammy. The MP David Lammy. Remember when the riot happened near me in Tottenham, and everything, he them man, they just come out for camera opportunities, like media opportunities, because many things have been done against. You don't see them man there like do anything for the Tottenham community or North London community like that. Even Diane Abbott, as bad as she is, or whatever, she used to have annual annual conferences, where she would invite the whole black community to discuss the discrimination of black youth within the education system. I'm not bigging her up, but I'm just saying at least she did that. David Lammy has done nothing. Even Bernie Grant did more than what he's doing. Now he wants to come up and say, this Windrush, that. He hasn't really done anything. He hasn't done anything.
If I could, and these oppressors know what they're doing. They give you a certain type of black people to represent you. They ain't going to give you no hardcore black men to represent you, because they know if David Lammy was saying the stuff that we be saying, maybe black people would be converted and understand what's really going on. They give you a man that represents them. So this is why us as black people, we need to be very careful of when white people tell you a black man's a hero, we need to be very careful of why they say he's a hero. Because to be a hero means you're a villain to somebody else. Whereas the white man makes out that we the villains when really we the heroes for black people. When really they give you David Lammy as the hero when he's a villain to black people. So they reverse these roles. So when it comes to heroes and villains, you have to be careful of who is giving
How
you
many
the hero.
social programs? How many social programs has he supported? Like, for example, imagine this, yeah? I tell you this for free. You see, I'm not trying to big up my chest or whatever, but I'm saying even there's a youth called Akala, yeah?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, in his book Natives, Ruins of Empire, in I think 178, he mentions the incident in Brixton, you know, so I have to big him up for that still. He mentioned the incident in Brixton still, like point in his book. Another brother, big up the mystical legend of Eagle Ras, Danny Christie, a good brother. He managed, so there's certain things that we've managed to, there's articles being written, all of these type of things. They're not trying to fund. Do you think they would ever come to Black Child Promotions like they would to these other organizations and say, we want to fund you? And even if they do want to fund you or whatever, they're gonna say, all right, then instead of just focusing on the Black community, can you focus on Black and and Asian minority? Yeah, BAME. Remember that Black Asians can capitalize off of being Black, so-called Black and urban, but we can't capitalize from being Asian, you know. Remember, they got their Sikh temples and they got their Hindu temples and all of these type of things. Make you say, can we get funding for our I.S.U.P.K temple right now, please? They'll be like, no. This. So we know this already, but I'm just for the public to know that we have no friends in this thing.
That's right.
We have no friends, brother. We have no friends in this thing. All we got is us. And the moment we realize that,
I've never seen someone outside the I.S.U.P.K saying the things you're saying, man. I'm being serious. We are all we got. We are all we need. We have no friends in this thing, man. We were alone. It's crazy. I've never heard that from no one else that's not in the I.S.U.P.K, man.
We're alone, brother. We're alone, brother.
Well, Solomon, it was nice having you, man. You know what I mean?
So listen, I just want to say I'm grateful for the invitation, and it's uplifted my spirits on this Sunday evening. You know, I'm glad to say that, you know, I respect you what you stand for, and, you know, just keep doing what you're doing. Hopefully, you know, we can link more in the future. And, you know, please come, I'm going to send you a message when I'm done here to make you be able to visit the center as well, you know. You understand? And even if you want a space, you know, to give lessons when you're in London as well, I think the center you could negotiate.
Let me jump in for one second. Listen, man, we need to do some lectures up in that spot that you got, man. We'll be doing these white supremacy lectures where we break down the whole thing. We bring out the whole history from back then till now. As soon as
the link is finished, I'm going to send both phone numbers to you, so you get in contact. It's strictly for the Black family, so you know I don't have to tell you that. And let's work, man. Because as I said, I'm not one of these social media people that you can't get in contact. Like, we all got, bruv. I'm inspired by you as much as you're inspired by me. You know, we're all soldiers in the same. We're all soldiers in the same thing. Yeah, say that again, brother.
We're in London regular. You know what I mean? We're never in Brixton. Well, you got we speak right by the KFC, man. So if you buy Iceland, just to the left, you see us on the corner, blazing them streets. So definitely link up, man. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
If you could, in the future, honestly, I want to see you selling loads of books. You know what I mean?
Man.
Expanding. I like what
at the moment. I'll tell you where we are at the moment. At the moment, we've moved because there's a lot of other stall holders that we want to give opportunity for to have that space as well. Like, you know, there's other people that, you know, we give that opportunity because we can always go other place, but where you can find us sometime more time is now Oxford Street. Yeah. You know where the Nike town, there's a big Nike town. And the reason we like it there as well is because north, south, east, west can get there. There's a lot of young people there, and a lot of them are gravitating to the knowledge. You understand? So
we got a brother right here from London, man. This brother right here from London.
You probably recognize him, you know.
He's in charge. Right here. He's in charge of the I.S.U.P.K in London. You know what I mean? Bro. So look out for his brother, man. You know?
Yeah, man. Definitely, man. And you know what, as well, I'm gonna try and keep one of the Rudolph Windsor books for you. I'm sure you got them already, but I'll try and put down one for you because there's another Israelite brother that as I said, when he was talking, preaching on the Sabbath, I just slipped in that book as well because the Rudolph Windsor Valley of the Dry Bones. I know you got From Babylon to Timbuktu already, but if I see any other ones published by him, I'm gonna put one aside for you for when I see you, bro.
I appreciate that, bro, man. Yeah, I like how you're employing Black brothers. You know what I mean?
Trying, bro. The little bit just what it is that if I can just do something to impact and be productive, because that's all it is, you know. Just be productive, man. Just what you're doing now is productive. Remember, their version of production isn't like, if you're being productive, working with them to oppress us, it's better you sleep all day, bro. Yeah. But I'm saying, if we need to be productive in like what we're doing now, networks, strategic alliances, and just have a little impact on the youth them, so the youth them can even be greater than how we are, So I appreciate the invite.
If you could, Solomon, let the people know where they can find you, the address for the center again as well. And
So the address of the center is the My Art Center, 366A Tottenham High Road, N17 9HT. Yeah, I'll give you the phone number in the inbox, so you can give it to the relevant people who need to know. And you can catch us Thursdays and Fridays if the weather's all right in Oxford Street outside the Nike Town. So as soon as you come out of the station and you see the big Nike Town, then you see us right next to it. And we're usually there from 10 o'clock in the morning till 8 p.m. at night on Thursdays and Fridays, unless it's raining. So, yeah, man. Come check us out.
All right. Wonderful, man. Thanks for having you here.
Man, give thanks for that, yeah? Yeah, man.
Oh, man.
No cowards in our camp, gotta let their colors fly.
I.S.U.P.K. 53rd Annual Lord Passover.
53rd Annual Lord's Passover is going to be held down here in Florida.
It's going down.
You're here tonight to get a chance to be righteous enough to be worthy of God coming to save you.
That's right.
It's going down. The Lord's 53rd Annual Passover.
When we say we no cowards, we stop that business. We no cowards up in here.
Book your hotels now at the Holiday Inn Express and Suites, the IHG Hotel, 301 Tucker Lane, Cocoa Beach, Florida, 32926.
Here's a lot of men down. You dealing with the men of war. We at war. I sided with the Lord.
Y'all see this?
Comes with all your dishes, pots, and sports knives.
I kind of like this. This is like an apartment and a hotel room. You know what I mean? Yeah. This here right here is about to be holy ground. It's going to be holy ground. All our beautiful, wonderful brothers and sisters from all over the world. You understand? We can boast that now. Brothers and sisters coming not only from every state, but from all over the world. I heard the numbers this year is ridiculous. We had to buy out the whole hotel.
Friday, April 15th at the Space Coast Convention Center.
My camp undefeated. You cannot debate. You just want the clout. We just want the greatest. I'm just trying to get it.
This is going to be glorious.